Well, it's been a few days, so let me speak to you folks. Good morning. Whenever you see it, hello. It is the 7th of August. It's an early Saturday morning. It's cool out here in Omaha, so it feels like it's going to be another really nice day. We've had some really good weather. Let me just kind of catch up a little bit and just talk, because that's what I like to do, just share. This week's been a good week. I've played a good show, and I went to a concert. Jim Fields, the filmmaker who hired me to do soundtrack work for him, invited me to go see the band Squeeze. And so I went to the show with him, and it was great to hook up with Jim. Jim is a friend of mine. He lives in Lincoln, so we don't see each other much. Come to find out that Jim is a regular watcher of my videos. So hello, Jim. Ears burning. He brought up how he didn't remember when he asked me to do soundtracks for him the first time for Flyover Country. He kept boosting me by saying, I want to help you be the best film soundtrack maker there in Nebraska. He said he didn't remember that, but I reminded him that yes, he did. Was trying to boost my ego, and it wasn't necessary. It's because it's not the kind of person I am. I don't want to be something. I'm already what I am. But we had a good time, and Squeeze is a band that I've never bought a record by, and I respect them. They're good. But we talked about it. Jim and I talked about it. They don't have that extra something that I'm looking for. And even bands or artists who I think have that extra something may not have that extra something for everyone else. They're a good pop band, good writers. I respect that. Another Nail in My Heart is my favorite song by them. I may have that on single that I got as a promo, but I've never bought any of the records. Did I enjoy the concert? Yeah. Did it change my perception of the band? No. They're good craftsmanship, but they don't have that spark. They don't have that extra thing, that I recognize. Everyone will go historically. Everyone from people like Big Mama Thornton to Chuck Berry to Little Richard to Elvis Presley to Bill Haley to let's move over into Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald. Let's keep moving. John Coltrane, Cecil Taylor, Ornette Coleman. Let's keep moving. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, on up to today. Nirvana, Soundgarden. I recognize, and then all the people that I think who are not big, that I think have that something special, like the Danish band Mew, or Boris, or Wire, the band Wire. There's something special about. There's something they have a spark. They have something that really speaks to me. So that was a good conversation to have with Jim about music and art. I enjoyed the Squeeze show. KT Tunstall opened. Her big deal is being British with an American sound, and so I found it very ho-hum. She's very good at what she does, but that sound, that way of playing, that groovy soul thing, it's like, I just, I'm really it's old to me, so it's it's usually pretty boring to me. So thank you, though, Jim, for taking me to the show. Last night I played a big punk rock show here in Omaha, Murphy's Law, from New York. Maybe this is the third or fourth time in Nebraska over the decades. I saw them ages ago when they came through opening for Beastie Boys, when the Beastie Boys first broke out, and they were doing their License to Ill tour. I saw that tour, and Murphy's Law and Fishbone opened, and it was a wild, wonderful night. Last night was a pretty wild night, and it was fun. It was nice to hang out with Jimmy, the only original member of Murphy's Law. RAF ripped it up. I love playing in that band, and I love a challenge. You know, I like playing with other good bands and bands that have a reputation, because we do as a group endeavor to destroy the stage. You know, we're all in it together, and we do a pretty good job of it. And we did good last night. I even sold some of my T-shirts. I happen to be wearing one. I like this shirt, and I like being honored honored in a shirt. So they are for sale. I'll leave a link. I sold some last night. Um, it was a good show. Before I forget, I want to refer back to the last video I just uploaded, which was an old video of me and my brother Patrick playing some music for my sisters. Yeah, that was April in Paris that we were playing. I am touched by the fact that another watcher and musician, a drummer, I didn't look to catch his name, but I will put a link. He liked it, and it touched him so much that he made a video of himself playing drums along with my brother and I. That's wonderful. What a wonderful connection to make through music with another human being. Thank you, my brother. What a wonderful thing. A little more. I saw a comment where someone said they were surprised to see me playing jazz. Well, I really am a musician, even though I can't read very well. I really can play almost anything. And my respect and love for music is deep and real. Someone else said that they maybe thought that my brother and I had been playing together since childhood, playing music together. No, that's not true. I've always been more of the rocker outsider of my family. My brother is totally in the footsteps of my dad, totally into jazz, and he never liked the music that I listen to when it's not jazz. Always made fun of me. So no, we didn't play music until we were almost adults. And when I started playing jazz, I started out on the drums. And it's the only instrument I've took lessons on. So I know how to swing. I do know music. I do understand music. And I'm not a stereotype. I'm a real person. So no, I don't look and act like a jazzer, or I don't look and act like anything, because I'm a human being. And that's a real important message that I'm trying to get across always, you know. Before I mention any more music, I want to say that I am personally dismayed that the majority of people are not as smart as they think they are, because we are being massively manipulated by politics. The division that we're dealing with right now in this country and worldwide politically is completely manufactured, and everyone fell for it. Everyone fell for it. I thought you guys were smart. That's kind of where I'm coming from now when I talk to people. I thought you were smart. I thought you could think for yourself. You've been hoodwinked, you know, and you just keep saying stuff. You don't even know what you think. And that's one of the things I'm asking people. When they bring up things and ideas, I say, well, where did that idea come from? When did that notion start in your life? What is that really about? And a lot of people are flummoxed by the question because they've never thought about it. And some are embarrassed because they stop to realize, I never thought about what the hell I'm saying. Okay. I got some music in this week. I will go ahead and review this. I heard from one of the band members of this group. I heard from Nathan Engel. Miles on End, a band out of Kansas. They sent me a card. They call themselves Groove Rock Garage Fusion. Now I got to tell you, this is one of those releases where I have to think about how to speak about it, because it doesn't hit me. Okay, now I've only played it a couple times. And indeed, this is something where maybe after a while I just pop it on and I'll say, oh, I really liked that. My initial impression is give the band an A for effort. This sounds to me like it's their first recording. it is a blend of things. They start off with kind of a hard, not heavy like metal, but like an old style hard rocker type of song. The kind of hard rock music I grew up in the 70s. Then they get into some stuff with some horns and stuff, you know. And I'm sure that they have a dedicated audience, and there's folks who will like this miles on end. Thanks for sending it to me. I hope you understand that I'm always honest. This does not trip my trigger, but I think that there are people who will like this miles on end. It is groovy. It is fusiony. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, okay? That's honest, all right? Thanks for sending it to me. I got 2 new singles in, 2 new CDs in from Discus. Martin, you continue to be a beacon of pure music light. Thank you for what you do. This one I come back to, it's the one that, you know, I'll say this about you, Martin. You've got big ears, and you're true to what you like. Because some of what you send me is harder for me to get into, okay? And thankfully, you are okay with me being honest, okay? My first listen on this was like, oh, I have to come back to this one. Horns. I like horns, and I don't, okay? How's that? A horn player probably want to punch me, Martin. I used to play horns, you know. Like I said, I'm honest. This one hit a sweet spot right away. I've played this 3 times already, almost all the way through. Corey Mwamba with Andy Champion, Laura Cole, and Johnny Hunter. I got to bring up Jim Fields again, too, because Jim told me that he is planning to, or has already bought, Laura Young's CD after Laura Cole. Some of her work after hearing me talk about her. And I'm going to talk her up again because she is, she stands out on this CD. I like, Laura, how you play. You definitely have a voice, but I love the vibraphone, and Corey Mwamba is excellent. I got a bunch of Gary Burton records and Bobby Hutcherson. I like the vibes. He's very melodic, beautiful playing, and the compositions on this are wonderful. And he says they're like, the pieces are devised and scored by K.C. Mwamba. So like the things are kind of set up for people to work around. And it sounds like that. It sounds like the music is organically moving in a direction once it gets started. Oh, this is lovely. Jazz, but really melodic and beautiful. Subtaste caught my attention. I was listening to this and I got distracted and started doing something around the house, and this was playing, and it caught my attention so much I had to come back and find out which track it was. And Laura Cole's piano on this one, Subtaste. Yeah. Kudos to Corey Mwamba and the group NTH. Kudos to Discus Music and Martin Archer. Thank you for including me in the loop of promos so I can help spread the word on this wonderful music. I do know that folks are going out and buying this stuff after hearing my recommendations. I want to recommend this one. I can already tell you that, even though I haven't gotten into this one, that this one, Orchestra Entropy with Rituals. Martin Archer isn't bullshitting around. I can recommend what he's doing with his label Discus. This is important work in the world. This is real music that does entertain, but it endeavors to be what it is, which is art. And we need that badly in the world right now. We need it. We need a return to authenticity. And we need a return, or we need a move forward to intelligence and real substance, not fake bullshit. Let me see what else I can tell you right quick. I have played some music. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I showed this yesterday. and got a whole bunch of talk about it going worldwide. I love that when I get a worldwide conversation about music going in social media. That's fun. Caravan in the Land of Gray and Pink. 1971 is when this came out. I believe this is their third album. This is my original copy from high school. It's taped. It's played. I love this band, love this album, love this style of music. Yeah, I like this stuff. A lot of times I want to hear this more than I want to hear jazz. It's just where I'm at as a person. But I'll say again, I do understand and know real music. Jazz, classical, folk, whatever, you name it. I recognize this is fantastic. This is such a wonderful album. Caravan in the Land of Gray and Pink. Listen to this all the way through yesterday. Had been a while. I love the Yellow Magic Orchestra people. Hadn't played this in a while. It came to my attention again through the internet. My friend Frank posted a link to Takahashi does Neil Young's Helpless on here with Bill Nelson on the track. It's a really good version. And they do it Takahashi style. Wild and Moody. This is a great album. 1986 is when this came out. Drummers, who was originally in Sadistic Mika Band, and they, if I got this straight, I think they were the first Japanese band to tour England or something like that. Roxy Music had them on tour with them early on. This is good pop music, but it goes beyond pop. Love it. Here's one I pulled because I have both of the Dry Jack albums because these are records that you always see, or over the years I've always seen in the cutouts or used for a buck. And it's better than that. Dry Jack, Whale City. They have two albums. I have them both. If anything, you could call this a fusion light, like a lighter version of Return to Forever. That's not a diss. It's just that the music is, I think, more easily digestible. These guys can really play, but there's an aspect of the music where it's like, it's almost like it's kind of mainstream compared to like maybe Mahavishnu Orchestra. Again, I don't mean this as a diss, but I could imagine hearing some of this in a mall, at a time. But as El Bicho Feo would say, this is an example of some cheap heat. This is good. Dry Jack. It's a better album than the cover. Weather Report comes to mind too. These guys can play. Hadn't played this forever, and played the whole album, live album by Brand X, back when Phil Collins was still drumming with them. Livestock. The whole album is great. Wonderful musicianship all the way around. Percy Jones on bass, Robin Lumley, John Goodsall on guitar. Really good. Good. Livestock. Return to listen to some of this. Mark Stanley's band, Farquhar. If you don't know, I'm on one of Mark Stanley's latest records. The one that he made with Carla Durant's Double Dreaming. I play bass on some of it. Farquhar, this is great. Progressive rock in the Frank Zappa vein. Very ambitious musically, and the guys can really play. Mark is hell of a guitar player. He's really got some deep technique, and he's all over the place with the technique, and it's kind of wild and mad. It's very touched by psychedelic LSD, I would say. He's got quite an imagination. Farquhar, Dream Shit. Thanks for sending this to me, Mark. This is really good. Now, I'll keep going because this is an album that was sent to me about 5 years ago to be reviewed, and when I reviewed it, I thought it was okay. Hadn't listened to it since I got it. Decided to play it again and see if I missed something. The name of the band is Over Forward. Let's see if I can get you to see that. over forward. The name of the album is Fantasy Absent Reason. This is an instrumental progressive rock band. I think they're American. I want to thank them for sending this to me. I like the pastiche of the Casablanca label. This album, it's like, I would imagine the band has developed into the vision they were pushing for on this record. This record attempts some epic progressive moves, doesn't quite make it. It's like it's trying to create big shapes, but to me, it doesn't quite get there. On side 2, things move in the right direction when we get to Utopia Planitia. That to me is the most successful piece on here. But things kind of just repeat, and then they try to build it up. So that's, again, this is one where my honest impression of the music is like, I gotta be honest. It's like, this isn't, to my ears, this is not where it wants to go yet, or where I think it can go. It's pretty good. 12-inch single here that I'm glad I kept. Peter Ulrich, who was in the original Dead Can Dance. Percussionist, I believe. This is a 12-inch single called Takaharu's Leaving, and it sounds very much musically like Dead Can Dance, and then something else. It's just 2 songs. This is really cool, though. I'm glad I kept it. You know, 12-inch singles in general are not worth anything on resale. And when I take records to trade, I found over the years that I've collected a lot of 12-inch singles, and they won't accept them for trade for the most part. There has to be something in particular. So, but I'm glad that I bought them over the years because I like 12-inch singles. This is good. Peter Ulrich. And if you happen to see this, Vijay, I finally get this. Animal Youth. He sent this album to me. Animal Youth. Animal. It's kind of a somewhere between shoegaze and kind of a grungy electric guitar sound. It grinds to me. That's the word, grind. You know, let me get the sound going. And on some of the songs it works, and others it's like, well, now the singer's bellowing about something. I don't know what it's about, and I don't care because the music didn't get there with him. You know, I know that the words, and I don't mean to insult writers and lyricists, but if the music doesn't take me there, I really don't give a shit what you're saying at first. You know, my first impression is the music. So since I have my turntable set up back over here, whereas I had it sitting here for a long time, I'm playing records back here more now and kind of digging into this area here. So let me just grab something from back here right quick. We'll see. I'll grab these. These 2 are stuck together, so we'll see what they are. What do we have here? Looks like this first one is the band Tortoise. All these damn things get stuck together. Yep. Tortoise. This was a 20-year reissue of this album. Which one is it? Is it just self-titled Tortoise? Is this their first album? It could be. Now I'll tell you what. I bought this in the last 4 to 5 years, and I like Tortoise. I've seen them twice. Met the band, hung out with them. Jeff Parker is and I'd call him, you know, he's not a friend, but we've talked quite a bit. So I got to play this again. I like Tortoise, but I don't remember what this one sounds like. Okay. And I do have records where I pull them and play them. It's like, oh, that one's out of here. Stray Dog is one more recently where I have 2 of their albums. I kept the one that World Winds is on. The other one, which is real regular rock, that's out of here. The other album I just pulled, this is a winner. David Torn, Cloud About Mercury on ECM with Bill Bruford, Tony Levin, Mark Isham. This is a killer album. excellent all the way around. Just excellent. Everything about this album is killer. Okay, 25 minutes. I'll leave the link. People, buy my t-shirt. Buy it, wear it, show me in a video. I'll watch a video, wear my t-shirt.